What is the yoga of separation? Yoga means union. So, how can there be something called the yoga of separation? This is actually a very powerful meditation technique that's given in the Shiva Sutras. Now, before I get down to this practice, let me just first explain what the Shiva Sutras is. The Shiva Sutras is a text revealed by Lord Shiva to the sage Vasugupta in the 8th century AD. It's considered one of the most important texts of Hinduism. Now, the legend says that Lord Shiva appeared to Vasugupta in a dream and instructed him to go to a particular rock. So the next morning, Vasugupta searches for this rock and he finds it next to a stream. On touching the rock turns over, and on its face are inscribed the Shiva Sutras. Now, Lord Shiva's instructions were to give these sutras to all those who were fit for grace. Now, let's get down to the 7th sutra, which explains this practice. On differentiating oneself from the body in the waking state, the dream state, and the state of deep sleep, one enjoys the birth of the 4th state. Now, there's a word used in the sutra, bheda. Now, bheda means to split, to separate, to break, or to differentiate. So, what are you separating from? You're separating from identifying yourself with the body. Normally, we're deeply identified with the body, so this sutra tells us to stop identifying with the body and instead to identify with the witness within us. Now, the witness within us is our Atman, our soul, or our divine self. Our soul is consciousness, and this witness is our soul. Now, why is this a direct method? Because we are directly moving to consciousness. Instead of identifying with the body, we are identifying with the consciousness. Now, what this practice does is very, very powerful because it creates a certain gap between you and your body, between you and the mind. And when you create a gap, all your suffering ends. Whatever is happening, whatever thoughts you're happening, you're able to put it at a little distance. And it's a very powerful practice because your awareness grows. And you would have heard this phrase frequently amongst some people who practice meditation, be a witness. Some people say that these are the 3 most important words you'll ever learn. But what they're referring to is this sutra, which tells us to be a witness, and when you're a witness, you're fully aware and you're awake to the present moment. Now let's move on. Now the sutra also talks about the 4th state. The 4th state is a state of turiya, it's a state of enlightenment. And it says that we should practice this, we should be a witness, differentiate ourselves from the body in the waking state and the dream state and the state of deep sleep. Now first you've got to do it in the waking state. When your awareness grows to a certain point, then just before enlightenment, you'll find that you're also aware when you're sleeping, when you're in the dream state or when you're in the state of deep sleep. Now Lord Shiva now describes the 3 states, and then we go to the 4th state of enlightenment. So he says here that the waking state consists of knowledge of the external world. Now the waking state is when we are totally focused on the external world. If we're a student, we're busy with our studies. If we're an adult, we're busy with our family and with our work. But in the waking state, we're not fully awake. We're still in a form of a dream because we're always lost in our mind. We're thinking of the past, we're thinking of the future. We're not fully awake to the present moment. Now the next sutra is the dream state is a variety of imaginings. So when we're dreaming, we're imagining a variety of different things. That's called the dream state. That's a state of sleep when we're dreaming. Now after this comes a state of deep sleep when there are no dreams. There's no awareness in the illusory state of deep sleep. Now the state of deep sleep is actually very close to the state of enlightenment because there are no thoughts in the state of deep sleep. The only difference is there's no awareness. That's the difference between the state of deep sleep and the state of enlightenment. There's no awareness. Otherwise, the states are similar in that there are no thoughts. Now finally, there's sutra number 11, where he repeats a little bit of sutra 7. He says, one who experiences this triad is the chief of heroes. That means one who's aware during these 3 states of existence, the waking state, the dream state, and the state of deep sleep, is enlightened. He's the chief of heroes. Amongst all the heroes, he's the greatest because he's reached a state of enlightenment. So the practice is basically, you're not identifying with your body any longer, you're identifying with consciousness. You're identifying with the witness within you. And that has a big difference in your life because you'll find that when you're no longer identified with your body, you're not hankering after all the pleasures of the body. You can still enjoy those pleasures, but it's not that you're addicted to them or you're really always chasing them. If they're there, well and good. If they're not there, that's fine too. So you'll find that you're not hankering after good food, after smoking, after alcohol, after sex, after all the pleasures that the body enjoys, you find that you don't really need them anymore. When they're there, you can enjoy them. When they're not there, you can do perfectly well without them. Now, the Shiva Sutras has a lot of other wisdom in it. It's only 77 sutras and it's packed with wisdom. Now, if you want to read the entire Shiva Sutras, I've given a link in the description below to my best selling book that's available on Amazon. Thank you.